Hello and welcome to my workshop. This is video 5, I think, in a series that I'm doing on making a pallet coffee table, high-end hopefully coffee table. I hope it's going to be more than average, but it is my first attempt, so I'm making quite a few mistakes as I go. In the last video I had to re-glue down these veneers because the glue that I was using was not able to cope with the low temperatures that we've got at the moment, and it hadn't stuck properly. So I've glued them down, clamped them, and this pallet has been in the house for the last 4 or 5 days, properly setting. So it's absolutely solid now. It's not going anywhere. So I'm going to nip these ends off to square everything up, and then I'm going to sand the top, really hopefully to its final finishing height. Okay, that's the sanding done for now. Very pleased with how it's gone. So 2 lessons that I've uncovered today is that some of the nail holes that I haven't filled have got very sharp edges, and so I am actually going to have to, I think I'm going to have to fill all, apart from the ones that are really shallow, that are near the top. Anything that's, any of the nails that have gone in deep, I think I'm actually going to have to fill because they really are quite sharp. And that will obviously mean, having filled them, I then need to let the filler dry, which might mean taking it back into the house again, and then more sanding on top of that. So at the moment I've gone down, I had 40 grit on my big sander, I then did 40 grit with my orbital sander, and then I went to 80 on my orbital sander. So I'm really pleased with how it's come out so far. But this is the exciting bit where I hope it's going to be the exciting bit where things suddenly come to life. I've got an old scrap of the hardwood which I've taken down to the same 80 grit, and a bit of pallet wood which I've also taken down to 80 grit. And I'm going to try various different finishes on them. I've got teak oil, which I think will really bring out, I hope will really bring out the hardwood colour. I think that's going to be quite good. And you can put other finishes over the top of that, so I think that's going to be my base finish, my first finish. I have got beeswax, which I'm going to try. I've got clear gloss varnish, which I'm going to try. And I've got this, which I think is also going to be good, which is yacht varnish. So I'm going to try on these 2 pieces of wood, I'm going to try various different combinations. I've also got a couple of sample stains that I'm going to try again on this hardwood for these flashes in the middle here. So I will give all that a go and see where we get to. So the teak oil is pretty well dry now, and that's had a beautiful effect on the hardwood, which I was pretty sure it would. Beeswax I'm not so sure on. I know it could go darker if I put a second or a third coat on, but I'm not so sure about that. I'm not sure about the walnut and the black. I don't know which of those I prefer. I think I'm going to have to let them dry. And then I should also paint some probably right up against the teak oil, because that's what it's going to be up against. And the yacht varnish is actually pretty similar in colour to the teak oil, so that's quite pleasing. But the teak oil has had almost no effect, long-lasting effect on the pallet wood. The beeswax has had an effect, but I actually don't particularly like the colour. It's gone quite yellowy, and the yacht oil is looking pretty good. I've masked off these bits where I'm going to put the stain on. After much deliberation, I think my final decision is that I'm going to put teak oil on as the base finish, just to bring all the colours out, and I'm pretty pleased with how that's reacted to the various different woods. It's not going to make much difference to the pine here, but I think it will bring out everything apart from the 3 pine planks. And then you can apply up to 3 layers of this, and you can buff it, and that can actually be enough. And that may be where I stop, or I may put a varnish over the top, but I don't want it to be a gloss varnish, and I haven't got any matte at the moment. So I'm going to put the teak oil on, and it needs 6 hours or 4 or 6 hours drying between each one. So I'm going to put one on, leave it. That's the decision made. So here we go. I'm going to go for it. Well, I couldn't be more pleased with that if it stayed that colour, but I know I use teak oil on most of my projects, and I know that when it dries it won't be quite that colour, but maybe if I put 2 or 3 coats on it might get closer to that, but that really is pretty close to what I've been imagining in my head for a very long time, so I'm very pleased with that. I'll leave it to dry for 4 hours, come back, give it another one, and then maybe another one as well, and see how that goes. Okay, well that's now 4 layers of teak oil that I've put on here, and it's had a couple of days to dry, so this is its final colour. Yep, couldn't be much more pleased with it, and looking forward to, in the new year, building the legs and getting the next step, and then seeing whether I can actually sell this thing or not. So if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumb up, like button, because it really does help the YouTube algorithm to decide whether to show my video to other people or not. If you've got time to subscribe to the channel, that would be amazing, because as I say again, the YouTube algorithm puts a lot of emphasis on numbers of subscribers. My numbers are slowly creeping up, which makes it more worthwhile me doing them. And I appreciate that some people have said that there's too much talking in the video. That's just my style, I'm afraid. There are plenty of very slick scripted videos out there, but that's not my style, so thumbs up please, and see you in the new year. Have a good Christmas and Happy New Year, and until next time, stay safe.